Okay, let's complete the task of the day. So, before go to sleep, because if I talk about the time is 12:21 a.m. right now, and I am making this video because I was just going to getting sleep. So, before sleeping, I was just thinking, let's complete the video of English speaking practice because I don't even skip any day without speaking in English because this is why you can see how I improved. I improved so much within if I talk about the day, this is I get 137th day of my English speaking. It's more than 4 months, and within these days I improved a lot because you know what why? Because I didn't skip any day. I didn't break my consistency. Even now, I am going, I can, sleep without making video. There is no one to, you know, tell me just complete the video because no one is watching my videos nowadays. And because I am a, sometimes I do mistakes and I allow myself to make mistakes because I'm a kind of, I can say, I don't say I'm not a beginner right now, but yes, I'm a somehow beginner because I always learn new things in English so that I can improve my English. And I always, use my mind and force my mind to, express the things what I am just observing in English because thinking in Hindi, because I'm from the Hindi background, my native language is Hindi. Thinking in your native language and thinking in English is totally different. If you are just looking at anything, okay, if you are just looking at anything, you can describe easily in your native language, but when it's time to describe in English, you get freeze. You know what why? Because you don't have practice, you don't have idea how to express and what kind of word you need to express that scenario. So what should I do? We all should do the practice. This is the easy and simple way to get fluency without getting enough practice. Without doing enough practice, you can't be fluent in English because fluency doesn't mean how much fast you speak. Fluency means how much you are making impact with your speech and through communication with whom you are communicating. It is matters because words have powers, and which kinds of word you are just using in your communication, it also matters. Really, it also matters. And because at if I am a beginner, I don't even have this much idea, but I know the fact. If you speak in, you know, there are some kinds of level of English. If you are just speaking basic English, you will look okay. But if you use advanced word into your communication, into your speech, into your, any conversation, you will make make the impact, you will make the different impact in the eye of other people with whom you are talking to. So words matter, so collect vocabulary accordingly. Don't focus collect advanced vocabulary in initial days because we most people think about the vocabulary and think about the grammatical mistakes, and we all focus on grammatical rules in the beginning. I'm just saying, if you have basic idea of grammar, if you have so vocabulary, I'm not saying you should have much vocabulary and you should have enough vocabulary to start speaking. I'm not saying this because I didn't start by having this kind of vocabulary. You can see my first video. This is the 137th day of my English speaking practice. And nowadays I have the habit of reading. Sometimes I write because I'm a lawyer, so I draft. So I use in English because I practice at the Sakit Court, Delhi. So in Delhi, if I say if you are an advocate or not, but I'm just saying to you, you have to write if you have any case, any new case, and if you want to file any new case and file the new application in the in the same matter, you have to draft that in English. There is no alternative way to draft in Hindi or some other language. You can't. You have only one option, that is English. Without English you can't file any application, you can't file even any case in Delhi. So I have the practice of drafting in English, and you know I can say I have habit of reading, and I have habit of listening in English, and I have strongest habit is speaking English daily without skipping, without thinking about skipping or breaking the consistency, because I don't believe the breaking the consistency. When most of the time I think in the same way, like we all think like, okay, let's do it tomorrow, and I don't feel like to do it right now, let it be. I also feel the same because I'm not a robot, I'm a person, I'm a human. I have the feelings. Sometimes I feel the same, but still at that point of time when I felt the same, i think I think that why I have started this challenge and why I am learning English, because I have taken the challenge of English speaking for 100 days. You know what, why? With my emotion, because this is the kind of emotion, because this is not my desire to gain fluency, to be able to communicate with people in English. This is my need. Without it I can't argue in High Court or Supreme Court, because I don't want to. I want to scale myself, because suppose if I have a case of coercing or anything which I can argue and which I can fight in the High Court or Supreme Court, what would I do? Because I don't have the idea of English. I am not able to speak in English. This is why. Because at the level of district I can use my native language in arguing, and but still you have to know what other people are saying in English, because most of the time opposite counsel argue in English. And if you are not known to English, if you are not you know aware of English, how can you get the point what he is saying, and how he is defending, and how he is making us accused in the eye of law? Are you getting my point, what I'm saying, what I am just trying to say? So this is how things happen, and this is how I do the same, and this is why I am making practice daily. I am doing practice daily of English speaking, and most of the time I use the same test sentences in my video again and again, because multiple time I use the same sentences, like I practice daily, I don't skip any day, I can't break consistency. And this kind of sentence I use frequently in my videos. This is not because I don't aware about those sentences. I only use those sentences because I want to make impact through my video so that I can make you understand what I want to say. I want to make you, you know, totally understand. And you can see this much fluency I have, and this is the kind of I'm just nowadays, I'm just trying to express what I am just saying. The actual things are happening like if I am just, doing this, how can I express this? And I am lying on my cot and I am just, I am focusing on what I am just doing, what I am just seeing, what I am just experiencing. Okay, so this is how I am learning, and I will share each and everything throughout my videos because I don't skip any day and I don't edit my videos. You know what? Why? Because I already have shared in my many videos why I don't edit my videos. Because I also want to know how much I would look like when I make mistakes and how much time I take pause to think in English because my mind is not trained in English language. My mind is trained in Hindi language. So I am from the Hindi background, I can say. And I am just training my mind daily at least, 10 to 15 minutes so that it can build the environment itself. And now it is creating the environment of English speaking because I am sometimes and most of the times I try to force my mind to think in English and push my mind, okay, let's express the things into my mind. I say to my mind sometimes, okay, this is happening right now, and just, say into English. I say to my mind this kind of, said things. You are just, laughing at me, I know, but it is what it is. I do always. Because if you are just laughing at me right now, you will be definitely, you will be going to clap for me one day. It will not take so much time, it will be shown. So it's done for the day. Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. So, should I share with you my experience of the day? Because I went sleep late today. This is why I was supposed to, sleep around at 10 a.m. But there was a call in the morning and I forgot to turn the notification off and turn the, on the mute, turn on the mute. And this is why my phone rang at, 7 a.m. in the morning and I went to sleep around at, 2 a.m. And if I talk about the sleep hours was, 5 hours for the day. And I was thinking like, okay, now I am just going to get, some sleep. So I went on my, bed. And then I was just, waiting for sleep. And I was lying on my, bed. And I was just thinking why I'm not getting sleep. And then I realized, okay, let's read something. So in the morning at 7 a.m., I hold the book name. If I share with you the name was, let me share with you, that is Bill Don't Tuck. So, because of when I have time, I used to, I read sometimes, not always, but I read sometimes because I don't want to waste my time. And after reading, I was not feeling sleep. This is why I went to get fresh and then I was starving. So I make some breakfast for me. In the breakfast, I have, you know, omelette and two bananas. And after that, around that, 12 p.m. around, I was starving. Really, I was starving. So I went in the kitchen and then I have rice and potato curry. Rice with potato curry. Potato curry with rice. Yes, this would be the correct sentence. And now it's 3 p.m. right now, and I am starving. And I am starving. I don't know why I'm getting so much hungry, but still I'm starving. So I was just thinking about to let's record this so that I can express my day, what I am just doing, and what I am just going to do, and what I did. So I'm just going in my kitchen, and I have my potato curry I have cooked in the morning, and now I'm just going to make some chapatis around in 4 and 5, and then I will have it. And this is not a kind of my lunch, and this is between lunch and dinner, because I already had my lunch around 12 p.m., and I had the breakfast in the morning around at 9 a.m., and now it's 3 p.m., and I'm going to make 4 or 5 chapatis so that I can have in the middle of lunch and dinner, because I am just starving. So it's all about till now, and because of I gave my book for reading, because my friend want to read the book. Name was the one thing. So he called me because I gave him around at 10 days before. 10 days before, yes, I can say it. 10 days before, and he called me today and asked me to collect. So I went to him nearby at the side of park, because there is a park besides, or I can say the behind my you know house where I lives, where I live, not lives. Lives when we use with a singular, nouns or singular subjects. I'm not a singular subject. I'm a we count I as a plural. So this is why I'm saying I live where I live. There is a park behind my house. So I went to him and I collect the book, and it's all about till now. I'm just going to make some chapatis and then I will see you later. Bye.